Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Hello Life. Thank you so much for being here, and to all of you who liked or commented or subscribed, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So this week, the hexagram is hexagram 49. Hexagram 49 in the I-Ching is radical change. So we think we haven't already had enough change. The inspiration or the guidance for this week is radical change. So let me just read to you from the I-Ching what the questions are and a bit of advice. The key questions: how can you break the mold? How must the form change to express the essence? It is time for transformation. The old Chinese character for radical change, which also means leather, shows an animal hide. This is change, like a shaman's putting on a new skin to change your identity. I think at this point, radical change is that we are starting to honor and move into our own identity, moving away from the group, because the group is very affirming, it's where we belong, but is it an extension of who we are? Because in the past, everything has been pretty stable and predictable. But now, with the move to the age of Aquarius, we are becoming more individual. In other words, we're individuating, we're expressing our individual essence. So in this change comes the fear of possible ostracization, that you no longer fit in, that you don't belong anywhere, that you are searching for your tribe or your soul group. And that is a radical change, because it's changing your identity if you took your identity from a particular group. So the most important thing is, how do we break this mold? As was written, how do we break or change it to express our essence? We need to step into who we are and embrace freedom. The only way that we can feel totally free is if we lose that need to be responsible for how others respond. So if you feel, I'm going to act in a way that absolutely resonates with who I am, and people can choose their response to that, then you start feeling a sense of freedom. Otherwise, there's constant pressure to conform to the mold, so that we all look the same, we all come out of the same little baking tin, and we all follow the herd. In other words, we stick to being sheep because it feels comfortable and familiar. But there's something within us that says, something about this doesn't resonate with me. I would like to do life differently. How do I do that? By still feeling safe and not being abandoned and ostracized. If you are leaving a group, if you are going out on your own to express your own essence, you will experience that kind of knee-jerk response from the group, because everybody wants the other to stay the same. So look for like-minded people, find your vibrational match, send out who you are. The essence with which you radiate will attract the people who get you. And that's the most important thing about this radical change, is, as we read, it's like the shaman, where you're changing from within. In other words, you are showing your identity instead of being an extension of a group's identity. And as soon as we commit to that, totally commit to being who we are and take action around that choice, then we will feel the change. We need to remember that we are sovereign. We are sovereign beings. Nobody controls your soul. Nobody controls your thoughts. Nobody controls your body. So we are in control of who we are, body, mind, spirit. So we need to make the choices that resonate with our highest and best good. The rune, interestingly enough, just following on the I-Ching and the radical change and breaking the mold, the rune is honesty. So breaking the mold, changing, is confronting ourselves and saying, who am I? Am I truly expressing who I am? Am I honest with myself? Are my words and actions congruent? Do I really feel in alignment with my belief systems and how I am out there in the external environment? In other words, does my inner world reflect into the outer world? Our behavior will show what's in our essence. So always look to the actions of people. If you're asking questions, do the words and the actions match? The words and the actions need to be congruent, because very often people can make a load of promises with many words, but when you look at the actions, they don't support what they're promising. So put yourself out there. Do not betray yourself. The most important thing is that do not betray who you are. As soon as we start betraying ourselves and letting ourselves down, that is the kind of circumstance and person that we are going to attract. We are going to attract betrayal. So be authentic with yourself, express your honesty. It's not something that we can be taught. It's your essence, it's your conscience. So bring that out into the environment and be transparent about who you are and bring about the changes that you need to do. And astrologically this week, there's some interesting opportunities. Never mind the fact that there are 7 planets going retrograde. One of them is Mercury, because on the 27th of September, Mercury stations and then starts going retrograde. So including Chiron, there are 7 planets retrograde, which means that there's still this handbrake on, that things might still be moving slowly or not as fast as we would like. So it's still time to reflect, reboot, rethink, double check, especially with Mercury retrograde. Check all your communication, back up your computer, check your travel plans, make sure that everything that you say and put out in documentation is double checked. If you're signing contracts, look at the fine print. Very important, communication and travel, especially with Mercury retrograde. But also the other thing is, this week is an opportunity to address finances within relationships. So that can be with siblings, with partners, with friends. How are you feeling about how finances are working within your relationships? Do you feel taken for granted? Do you always pay for everything? The other person doesn't pay, or you lend money to people which they do not repay you, and that sort of thing. This is the week to put those boundaries up and say, right, I've been disappointed in the past because I feel that from a financial perspective, things are not working in the way that I would like. So this is the week to address it and look at how these unresolved issues affect you on a health level, especially around the hips and the lower back in the sacral chakra. So address it, open up the conversation, express what is not good enough for you, what you would really like the situation to look like. be more open about how you're working with finances, with your friends or partners or siblings, or your lending of money and not getting it back. Also, we waste a lot of time hoping that people will change and that things will change. And usually they don't. So it's just better to take the action, just to open up the conversation, to see where it leads, and then set out what you would like to have around money. It's a big issue. Money in relationships is always a big issue. So this is a week to start, to get that going. And also start feeling a little bit unstuck. You might feel a little bit of movement around other issues as well. So as soon as you address one issue, then another issue comes unstuck and another issue comes unstuck. So just opening up. This is the change that we're doing. We're moving into radical change, and radical change means doing things completely differently and being completely unexpected, where people might not expect that kind of behavior from you. So let me just quickly read for you what they say in the runes about honesty. The sacred hand mirror of truth now lies in front of you. Pick it up in silence and without fear, look into your present situation. Ask if you are being honest, first with yourself and then with others. To be honest with oneself is where all healing begins. And now we can see what the Oracle cards have in store for us, what message, what advice, what inspiration, what guidance for this week, the 27th of September to the 3rd of October. Okay, so right in the middle here, we have the King of Wands and the Two of Wands. So that's messages, that's action, looking out, what's coming in, what new ideas do I need to put in place? What ideas have I had that I've not actioned? And what am I waiting for my ship to come in on some level? I've put the ideas and the thoughts out there. When is it coming in? That can even be that you've already had conversations along the lines of where your boundaries are about how you would like to be respected, and you're waiting for a change. If that change is not coming, then you take the next step and decide on if the relationship is worth pursuing. Okay. So in the past, getting new perspectives on how to have fun, to be less serious, to be more creative, to get less bogged down. So take those perspectives that you've had over the past few weeks and walk away without any doubt or regret from what is not working for you. Here's the Hierophant. You are guided. You are guided when you walk away from situations, circumstances, and people who do not bring out the best in you. Okay, so current environment, there's the tower that everyone gets so scared of. What is the tower? Radical transformation. So this is a week of change where we're going to break the mold, get out of who everybody is so used to you being, leave the flock of sheep and become you. So it is a fantastic card. It's not a doom and gloom card. It's breaking the mold. And what surrounds you, the Two of Swords. Okay, so what is swords? Swords are thoughts. The Two of Swords is when we can't see. We're not looking. We're blocking our eyes. We're stuck in our heads. overthinking, overthinking. Instead of playing, being the Page of Wands, skipping with the wand, creating something new, bringing in energy. We're sitting still and letting things stagnate. In the wishes, hopes, and dreams column, the 10 of Wands, move on. Take what is necessary. This is just taking what is necessary. Just that which works for you, your essential items. What is most important to you? Those things that really make you feel good. If there's any clutter lying around in the place that you live that upsets you or irritates you, get rid of it. We need to declutter. And then the outcome is the 2 of Cups, which is beautiful. It's connecting from the heart. It's a heart-centered connection. So in other words, your guidance from your spiritual guides is walk away from those circumstances that do not open your heart. Okay. Let's see what the angel message is. Intention. So the angel message is intention. No, it's not clear. It's a bit shiny. Look at your intentions. Intentions, heart-centered intentions. This is what I want to do for the highest and best of others and myself. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me. I so appreciate it. And I shall see you next week. Namaste. Have a wonderful week ahead and enjoy the change. It's invigorating. Namaste.